You know, there really are better places to overnight than a Walmart parking lot. Granted, none of us want to pay those high fees to stay in a big campground, but if you're traveling from place to place and are looking just to overnight for a few hours, get some sleep, and then move on, don't pay those big campground fees. In our interview of the week, we are going to talk with the owner of a website that makes it easy to find free or very affordable overnight RV parking. But joining us right now from Overnight RV Parking is our friend Jim O'Brien, and he connects with us from his home in Gilroy, California. Jim, how are you?
Fine.
Glad to have you on. Let's talk about overnight parking, and it's kind of like a scandal in a sense on how many towns have been pressured by the campground industry, among other factors, into making it very difficult to find those free overnight spots. Tell me what you're seeing around the country.
Well, we've had overnighrvparking.com website online for more than 10 years now. And during that time, we've seen reports, online news reports and reports from RVers of more and more towns that are making it illegal to sleep in an RV inside their city limits unless you're in a licensed RV park or trailer park or a licensed campground. I don't have any statistics as to exactly how many towns have done this, but I know the number is increasing.
Now, there's a number of reasons why. I know one of the factors that has been relatively new is the large number of homeless people who are living in their vehicles. And that has kind of confounded, I know, law enforcement in some communities. But there's another reason, and that kind of goes back to just basic greed. And talk about that. I mean, the pressure that is put on some of these places.
Well, in a lot of cases, the local law has been proposed by local RV park owners, basically in an attempt to legislate RVers into being their customers. In fact, the Association of RV Parks and Campgrounds, the ARVC, which is a nationwide trade organization for RV parks and campgrounds, offers its member campgrounds what they call model legislation. These are pre-written laws that the campground owner can take to the local city council or board of supervisors, whoever the local governing body is, and try and get it passed. 10 years ago, anyone who went to the ARVC website could see these, but once the word got out that RVers were looking at it and spreading the word that they were doing is that part of their website became available to their paid members only.
So the bottom line is that they would pressure the city fathers and the city mothers, I guess, as well, and get them to enact an ordinance that would make them essentially, if you're an RV and you want to spend the night, have to spend $20, $30, $40, $50 a night to overnight. However,
even more than that, Mike. I haven't seen any statistics now since 2011, but in the spring of 2011, the average cost of a full hookup site in the USA was $40.93 a night, and that was almost 8 years ago.
Holy mackerel! Yeah. We do most of our camping boondocking or staying in places that are free or very close to free. And that's, of course, why I'm so delighted to have you with us and to talk about how many places there really are out there for people to overnight for free. For example, on overnighrvparking.com, how many sites do you have currently in your database?
Our database currently includes, I think, 13,800 in some locations. But those aren't all free places to stay overnight. We include places where you might think you could, such as a Walmart parking lot in a town where it's illegal and the Walmart doesn't allow it. And we show those as a no parking, so you know not to park there. But the majority of our places are free. We also list places that are $20 a night or less. And this includes a lot of small city and county parks.
That's one of the things that I have always appreciated about your site. We did a trip just this early this summer and we took pretty much Highway 2 across to Montana in the northern route. And I found all these delightful little campgrounds, these little city and county campgrounds that I never would have found at any of the other apps. And you had them on your site. There's a lot of really nice municipal campgrounds.
There really are. And a lot of those are in the basically up and down. If you paint a broad stripe up and down the middle of the United States, from Wisconsin and Illinois and Michigan over to Montana, and then all the way south from there to the Gulf or to the Mexican border, a lot of cities and towns in those states have campgrounds, and the history of those goes back to the Great Depression of the 1930s. People were traveling as best they could to try and find work, and cities and towns did what they could to provide a free or inexpensive place for them to spend the night, because they knew nobody had any money. It was the Depression, after all. And a lot of those campgrounds are still in existence.
Now, there's also plenty of places like our favorite, which is Cracker Barrel. But I was looking on your site, and some Menards, I didn't know Menards sometimes allowed free parking.
Yeah, we found a few Menards that do. For those who aren't in the area where Menards has stores, they're a home improvement chain, not unlike Home Depot and Lowe's, and most of their stores are in the Midwest.
Yeah, just found one on your list. I'm going to try on my way down to Florida, and then we know the big boxes. Sometimes Home Depot. Why don't you tick off some of them? Some of the big box stores that allow RVers. We know Walmart, we know Cracker Barrel, but there's others as well.
Yes, some Home Depots will allow it, some won't. Same with Lowe's. Very few Target stores allow it, but most of them don't. Also, they're not really considered big box stores, I guess, in the same sense, because they're specialized. But Bass Pro Shop and Cabela's, the big sporting good, well, it used to be sporting good chains, but Bass Pro Shop has purchased Cabela, so they're owned by the same company now. Most of their stores allow it, unless they're in a mall where the mall rules don't allow it.
Yeah, I have to say, I want to thank you again for your site. Our favorite stop as we head west every year is in Mitchell, South Dakota, at a Cabela's there.
Right.
And, I found that on your site some years ago, and we stay there going and coming back, and it's great. Of course, many casinos have it. Talk about how people would use overnight RV parking. Now, let's just say we're on a route, and I'm going to pick a route, say I-70 or I-65. Let's take that goes down, through Louisville and then down through Nashville. I know where I'm going to go. I know I want to drive 300 miles or so today. How would I use your site?
Well, with the Overnight RV Parking website, when you log into our website or log into it through our app, we have iPhone and Android apps that our subscribers can use to make it easier to use our search feature on small screens like phones. You log into the website, and you either drag the map that comes up or put in a search term. Let's say if you're going to be around Louisville, Kentucky on a given night. You put in Louisville and select Louisville, Kentucky, and the map will pop up with a whole bunch of color-coded pointers. The bright green ones are places that, according to the latest information we have, you can park overnight for free. The bright red ones are places where you can't, even though you might expect you could. Those are the principal colors you'll see. Occasionally we have a yellow one where it's officially not allowed, or technically not allowed, but the word we have is that it's generally not enforced. So you'll probably be okay, but it's at your own risk of getting kicked out in the middle of the night. We have a couple of other colors. We have purple ones, and we can maybe talk about this in a little bit. These are membership organizations that have RV parking for their members, with or without hookups, including the Elks, the Moose, Eagles lodges, and so on. And we have a dark green category, which isn't free. Those are the $20 or less places. And we have a gray category, which means we know that this place exists. None of our subscribers have reported to us about it, so we don't know their policy, and we haven't had time to contact them yet.
Yeah, I happen to have that map up. I just opened it up and I put Louisville in, and it's pretty neat. I mean, I'm finding Cracker Barrels, of course, and then I see an Elks Lodge. I'm coming right down a Camping World that's in there, and many of them all around. Lots of Cracker Barrels, Walmarts. They're all listed with a little pin, and then when you click that pin, you get to find out all this detail about it, and it tells you from what part. Many of the people report what part of the lot you can park in, and they gives you directions as well. So it's a great resource. Now, you have a special.
We try to make that information as complete as possible, and include a lot of detail that you can't get anywhere else. The other thing is that if you switch that map from just a map view to satellite view and zoom in on one of those pointers, for example, if you zoom in on one of the Walmarts, that pointer is in the part of the lot where the store wants you to park, according to our best information.
That's a great service. I'm playing around with it right now, and you also even have the GPS coordinates. Now,
right.
It's you've got a special deal for the people who listen to this podcast. I know it's normally $24.95 a year, which is a great bargain if you are looking for places to overnight, which many of us are, and don't want to get stuck with that $40 a night price that so many people charge. But what's if they order through and mention us, and we have a special link they can try. It's roadtrekking.com/overnight. What special deal do you have for people who listen to the podcast and follow us?
Yeah, this is something that you arranged with us a couple of years ago for your readers and your subscribers. Is that if they click that link to subscribe on their first year, they'll get 15 months instead of 12 for their $24.95. So it's 3 months free.
That's good. That's a great.
The other thing I want to mention is that when our subscribers then report back to us using the forms on our website and tell us, give us an update on yes, I was at this Walmart and they now allow parking, or yes, I was at this Home Depot, they still allow parking, but they want us in a different part of the lot, that type of thing. We add free weeks to their subscription in exchange for those reports. So it's possible to subscribe once, and if you submit enough reports, you turn it yourself into a free lifetime subscription from that point on.
But what I like about it is that it's updated so often, and you can see when people were in there, and oftentimes it's just not even that farther away from you, and you've got lots of information. It's a great site, and we are very careful about the sites that we recommend, and especially there's so many things out there for RVers, but this is a must-have. It's my personal campaign to just really come back and talk about how important it is for people to take control of where they spend the night. You don't have to get stuck spending that $40 a night. That's so expensive.
I agree 100%. The first long trip that we took after launching the website ourselves was from California to Iowa and back, and we were out 23 or 24 nights on that trip. And we stayed in some Elks Lodges, and we stayed in some state parks that weren't free, but our average cost per night on that trip was $9.16.
Wow. Well, it's a great price. And Jim, I want to thank you so much for coming on the program and helping us all understand all of that. And we will continue to recommend overnight RV parking. And if people want to check out your site, they can get 15 months for the price of 12 by just going to roadtrekking.com/overnight. Jim O'Brien, a pleasure to have you on the program, and we'll see you down the road.
My pleasure to be with you this morning, Mike. Thank you for the opportunity to tell more folks about what we do.
All right. Thanks, Jim O'Brien, for the interview. And we have a full transcript of the interview that you can find with links to Jim's site right at the show notes page for this episode of the RV podcast. And also, we'll put all that information in the video description box on our RV Lifestyle channel at YouTube. I'm Mike Wendland. Thanks for watching the Interview of the Week, and please subscribe to our RV Lifestyle channel right here on YouTube. Bye-bye.